When God enters the soul and the body of his most beloved devotee, who is the Son of God, that devotee becomes the human incarnation. In the human incarnation, we find both God and the Son of God mixed with each other in a perfect homogeneous state, so that both are inseparable. The human incarnation is like a live wire. The metal wire is the Son of God, and the electricity that pervades the wire through and through is God. The live wire must be treated as electricity itself, since there is no alternative way of experiencing the existence of electricity other than through the live wire. In this context, a misunderstanding arises. The live wire says that it is moving the fan. In fact, it is the electric current which is making this claim through the wire. But people misunderstand it, wondering how a mere metallic wire could move the fan. They think the wire is simply boasting. The live wire looks like any other wire as far as the properties of the wire are concerned. It is lean, long, and made of metal like any other wire. It makes other wires think that the live wire is also an ordinary, unelectrified wire, which is falsely boasting about having some extraordinary capabilities. This confusion led to the crucifixion of Jesus by the public. When Jesus claimed that he is the truth and the light, and that he and his Father in heaven are one, it was not the claim of the Son of God, it was the claim of God himself. But the observers misunderstood these statements to be those of Jesus. When the person speaking is invisible, the microphone appears to be speaking by itself. But at no time did the person get converted into the microphone. At no time did the electricity get converted into the physical wire. The two items exist separately at all times. They are only mixed homogeneously together to form a single phase. This is also true between God and the human being component in the human incarnation. If this point had been clearly realized by the public, Jesus would have escaped the crucifixion. It is this point which was stressed by Muhammad. He said that God never becomes a human being, or vice versa. It does not mean that the Son of God should not be treated as God in the human incarnation by the devotees. If you deny this assumption that the Son of God is God upon the entry of God in him, the devotees are dissatisfied. They have prayed to God to be able to experience and serve him. Denying the divinity of the human incarnation defeats the very purpose of the human incarnation. Muhammad merely gave a clarification regarding the human incarnation to avoid the danger faced by the human incarnation from the public. But his followers misunderstood him, thinking that he had denied the very concept of human incarnation. Buddha revealed the most critical concept in the spiritual path, which is the elimination of desire, without which the soul loses the highest fruit. Muhammad clarified that God and the soul remain eternally separate even in the human incarnation. This clarification was meant to avoid the misunderstanding of the public and their cruelty towards the human incarnation. So both Buddha and Muhammad were divine preachers who warned humanity about avoiding crucial pitfalls in the spiritual path. But their followers wrongly extrapolated the concepts preached by them. Buddhists thought that God does not exist, and Muslims thought that the human incarnation does not exist. The concept of human incarnation has been introduced and well explained by Krishna in the Gita and Jesus in the Bible. Krishna says that God enters the human being, and Jesus says that God appears in flesh. This clearly means that God is neither the human being nor the flesh at any time. But human beings easily misunderstand concepts. So Buddha and Muhammad clarified the misunderstandings about this concept. Buddha, through his silence, indicated that God is unimaginable, and Muhammad indicated that God is invisible. The desire to become God generally arises when God is seen by the eyes in human form. The concept of human incarnation is generally avoided only to prevent this desire from rising in a devotee's mind. When God is known to be invisible, the human being only tends to seek some benefit from the invisible God. At least he does not desire to become God. But alas, the Advaitin did not even leave the invisible God. He wants to become even that invisible God. Why becoming God? He claims that he is already God. For this, he proposes that God is the invisible awareness or the soul which exists in his body. That soul God is mixed with different thoughts or qualities, and when it is mixed with the qualities, it is called the individual soul or jiva. He proposes that simply filtering out the qualities from the soul will yield the absolute God, because according to him, God is simply the pure awareness without any qualities. The Advaitin has thus created his own false concept of God and also his own false way of becoming God.